All right, we're back with Janae Adams with Debt Sucks University and Nathan Grant with MoneyTips.com answering all of your money questions. All right, let's start with Janae. We're talking about the housing market here. When is the best time to buy during this time in regards to inflation rates?
Yeah, so right now, obviously, mortgage rates are high. And so if you're in, the market for a house, you are going to pay a lot more. I just told someone last night on Instagram that if you can wait to next year because the Federal Reserve more than likely will keep raising rates until they get down to the 2% inflation mark. So your rates on the mortgages are not going to go down just yet. But when they start cutting those interest rates, then you're going to see the mortgage rates go down. So I really think patience is the key right now in the housing market.
So then the next question we have, what is a good investment for people in their 20s with no kids? Whoever feels free to answer that.
Well, I think right now investing in yourself is very important. Things like building up your credit score now, and that doesn't mean by spending willy-nilly on your credit cards, but thinking of smart ways to start building your credit scores, because if now's not the time to buy a house, let's say, you can be now using this time to work on things like your credit score, your debt to income ratio, and your savings, which are going to be super important, especially when it comes to your down payment. So right now, somebody fresh into the world of adult finance, these are the kinds of things you should be prioritizing before you start having families, kids, and other obligations that are going to be holding you back.
And Janae,
And definitely to add to that, making sure that you have an emergency fund first of at least $1,500. And then if you are working at an organization that has a 401k or a Roth 401k or Roth IRA, anything investment wise, you need to at least invest up into that match. The match is that if you give them 5% in that investment, they're going to contribute 5%. It's basically free money, but you need to reach out to a financial advisor or talk to your human resources at your organization if they have any of those options.
nice. I like that. That's helpful because I guess what? I'm in my 20s. I like hearing this. Okay, so the next question I have for you guys, this viewer says, just received bankruptcy notice from someone who I won a personal loan judgment against. They listed me as a creditor. Should I file a proof of claim?
I don't know if you can take that one, Janae. I'm not too keen on this. I don't know if this is more up your alley.
Yeah, what I would suggest to them is to reach out to a lawyer. They're getting into a legal territory that they would need to reach out to a lawyer and pay them to make sure that everything is done right and something doesn't go wrong and they end up costing them money.
I think that's good advice. It's definitely getting into a little legal ground there. Okay, so I guess my next question too would maybe be, do you have any advice on good credit cards versus maybe not as good ones?
Well, just like everything else out there, interest rates are ridiculous right now. But like I mentioned earlier, when it comes to a credit card, it's only going to negatively impact you if you're carrying a balance. So if you pay your balance in full every month, you're not going to be paying any interest. So that interest rate won't even matter. What should matter most for you is think about the kinds of purchases that you make regularly and get a credit card that's built around that. If you travel a lot, maybe a travel credit card is going to be better for you because you want to get rewards. They're going to help you save money on that throughout the year. If there's a particular retailer you shop at all the time, maybe you want to get a credit card that'll earn cash back or other rewards, maybe discounts and stuff at the places that you're going to shop anyway. But again, it's keeping that in mind that these are the purchases that you're making anyway, that you can afford to pay with cash. You're just using the credit card as the payment method, and then you're paying it off right away.
That's really good. Okay, then the next question, what is the best way to tackle student loan debt?
Yeah, so definitely the best way to tackle student loan debt, especially if you're someone that's just coming out. If you're somebody that's just coming out of college, you need to first of all talk to the Department of Education, see what your payments are going to be, and then start to put that into your budget or into your spending plan. If you're somebody who's been out of school for a while, you're finding it hard to start the repayment that just started back in October, then you need to look at your spending plan, go line by line, and see what you can cut out or cut back to make extra money for that student loan payment. And that is how you're going to be able to pay your student loans back. The only people who are eligible for student loan forgiveness right now are those of you in the public sector. So if you're a teacher, you're a doctor, you're a nurse, you work at a nonprofit, a fireman, a police officer, though in working teachers, if you work in higher ed, also, those are the ones that you are eligible for public sector loan forgiveness, and you need to reach out to the Department of Education to find out about that as well.
That's really good advice there. Okay, the next question we have, is there any tricks to increase credit scores?
Yeah, so first thing to do is just find out what are the factors that affect your credit score the most. One of the most important things is your payment history. As long as you're not missing any payments, having any late fees show up, that's going to be the first line, not defense, but way to make your credit score start going up. Good credit history that shows that you are a responsible borrower is going to be the good first step. The next thing is your credit utilization ratio, which is the amount of your overall available credit that you're using. The lower that percentage, you'll hear 30% thrown down a lot as like the number you want to be around, but really it's just the lower the better. If it's at 0, then you're in a better position than somebody who's at 30%. Basically, it just shows that you're not maximizing all your credit limits. You're not, using your cards for things that you can't afford. It's just the lower that is, the better. So starting with that is a great starting point. Another thing to think about is when you're paying off debt, if you pay off a credit card and you are tempted to want to close it, that's actually going to increase the percentage of your overall available credit that you're using. So if you have a card that you paid off and you don't want to use it anymore, cut it up, put it in your drawer, forget about it, don't ever use it again, but keep it open, and then it's going to help keep that utilization percentage lower.
Amazing advice as we're heading into the holiday season. Don't be forgetting to send in your questions.